Hello and welcome to the Indicator Warehouse. This is Ray Burke, and today I'm going to be doing a quick video on how I like to use the Profit Finder. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you guys a trade that I like to do on the NQ right at the 9:30 East Coast Open. So Profit Finder is a back testing tool. It's accurate. It accounts for slippage and commissions, and it also saves a ton of time and headache opposed to going back and forth across the charts for hours at a time with your crosshair and a pad of paper and a pencil. Okay, so I'm doing this video here, and I'm going to be using the Eagle Trend Trader for this particular back test. I've already got Profit Finder on here, and as you can see, I've already set up some targets. Now, what I did was I went back 25 days, and one of the things that I did, rather than take every signal that comes down the pike, I had to come in here. I went to my indicators, I went to my Trend Trader, I scrolled to the bottom, and I am not plotting the arrows. Because if we look at Profit Finder right here, that's all it's going to plot is the arrows, and I don't want it to take every signal that comes down the pike. I want it to take the signals that fit within my time frame, the particular stop that I choose, which I choose further down here on Profit Finder, and I only want to take it during a certain time of the day. Now, when I'm looking at my opener, I'm only looking to take trades that are between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically what I did, I went all the way back and I manually placed these arrows. Now, it sounds like a lot of work, but actually it isn't. You can program your Ninja Trader to have a hot for these particular arrows here that you're seeing, and then all I simply do is click my hotkey, click my mouse, and then there's my arrow. And I can place it wherever I like. So in this case here, I've got to place my arrow where my entry is. So you see that I've done that right here, and I've also done it in the 7:35 time frame. Now, my rules for this particular trade, they are a little bit different. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to email me at ray@indicatorwarehouse.com, and I'll be happy to tell you all about it. Well, as far as this particular trade right here, yes, technically we have an invalid trade regarding our Eagle Trend Trader because the soft edge is on the bottom. However, you see we get this nice pop off the bottom, slight pullback, and then I get my signal here, and because of the time of day, right about at the open, 7:35, I'm going to opt in to take this trade. Same thing over here for this short trade. Nice pattern, time of day, I'm opting to take this trade. Now, I actually back tested this trade before I ever attempted it, and this is actually the tool that I used to do it. So, all right, that being said, I basically went over 25 days. This is the second session, so you won't see anything here. And I opted in to take some of these trades. Here's a day where I did not take a trade because we had such severe consolidation, I couldn't make hide nor hair of any kind of a pattern, and clearly everything is out of whack here. So moving on. Another trade right here, second session. Here's a trade that I took right here, and obviously it didn't work out. Well, anyway, long story short, you see what I did for the last 25 days or so. So let's go ahead and then let's do this. I'll start from the beginning of the chart, and let's go ahead, let's back up, and let's move into Profit Finder, and I'll show you what I did for that particular trade. So I'm going to click on Profit Finder right here. I'm going to scroll down. I've already set my times up here. I like to trade between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time, and then I like to come back at 11 a.m. to about 1:30. That's my second session right there. I've enabled it by marking that true. Next thing I came down is I chose my stop type. So in this case here, I chose a parabolic SAR. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this stop type to, you know what, let's just make it an ATR to make things simple. Next I come down, and if we look at my profit targets, I've got one off at 10, one off at 20, and I've saved number 3 as a runner right here. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at my break-even trigger distance. And that means how far does the trade have to move in order to go to break even. In this case here, I've chosen 0. Let's just do this. Why don't we say after we reach our 10 tick target, our first target, let's say we go to break even after we reach 10 ticks. I'm going to click apply, I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to calculate my performance. Alright, as we can see here, overall for the number of days that I traded, through my back test, I've determined that I have a net profit of $5,050. That's on both long and short trades. I've got a gross profit of $66.90. Now keep in mind that what we're seeing here, that takes our slippage and our commissions into account. And in that case, let me show you that real quick. I like to be pretty conservative with this, and even though the NQ is fairly liquid, I set my slippage and commissions on the NQ at $10. With oil, I set it on 20. So you're actually able to adjust that number right there. Let's say $15 for the NQ. Click apply, close it, and then calculate the performance again. So as you can see, we've got a smaller profit because we've got higher slippage factored in, but keep in mind you did not have to go back over the entire chart and redo everything with your crosshair, your pad, and your pen. So next, let's do this. Let's play around with this strategy a little bit, and as you can see, all the trades that I took on this here, like for example today, this trade was taken right around the 7:30 open. It's within the first half hour of trading. We did get another trade here at 7:44 Mountain Standard Time. However, I only took this one trade into account. And yet here's another trade, a third trade, at 10 minutes till 8 Mountain Standard Time. So that would have fallen within my parameters as well. Now if we roll back in here, we'll go back into the indicator. I hope you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm doing here, what this thing actually does. It just allows you to play with your stop strategy. Okay, let's do this. Are the ATRs a filter? I don't like to fight the ATRs. So here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this true. I'm going to use my ATRs as a filter. So if I'm going long and there's an ATR above me, I'm not going to be able to enter that trade. So once again, I don't have to go back and look at the entire chart. All I've got to do, click apply, close it, and then let's calculate it again. Alright, well I hope you guys found this video to be informative. If you have any questions regarding Profit Finder, or you want to talk a little bit about my 9:30 East Coast opener, please feel free to email me at ray@indicatorwarehouse.com. Thanks and have a great day.